I don't take days off, do I? When my number is called, I don't take plays off, do I? I'ma always give you 20 and 10, no matter how much you wanna pretend that I ain't clutch with it. I don't do the load management, baby I can handle it. When the heat is on, I can manage it. I'm kinda like James Harden's career, I can walk whenever I feel, and that's facts. It's like the clock's ticking down on our truck.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Others Receiving Votes podcast, sponsored by M-Glow. I'm your host, Loren Woods, a.k.a. Big Low. And welcome to the Friday Inferno. And today, it's a little sad day for me. Last night, I found out that my legendary Hall of Fame college coach, Coach Olson, passed away last night. You know, he'd been battling sickness for a while, and you know, finally caught up to him last night, and you know, just kind of shocked for the most part. You know, I mean, I hadn't seen him in a while, but my experiences at the University of Arizona were, you know, life-changing for me, and as they were for hundreds of other players that got a chance to interact with Coach Olson and with his family, and just to be a part of the University of Arizona basketball program, and to be in Tucson, Arizona was just it was life-changing for a lot of players, I'm sure, you know. And today, pretty much, I just wanted to talk about you know, listening to experienced people when they tell you something. And the reason that I'm even getting on that right now is because I wasted a lot of time being stubborn when I could have taken all that information that, you know, more experienced people told me things, and especially in things that they had decades of experience more than me in. And, you know, I could have taken all that information and applied it immediately. You know, and I know a lot of players out there were like me. A lot of players are like me right now. You know, just stubborn guys, you know, set in their ways, don't want to change. But, you know, I always hear players talk about, you know, how coaches did something to them, or, yeah, the coach held me back or whatever. And, you know, to be honest with you, I have, to this day, I have never met a coach that didn't want to win, period. I mean, most coaches just want to win, and they want to get the best out of you so they can win. It's like, if you play your best, then they will for sure have a better chance for the team to win, you know. And it's not about personal goals, and I'm talking about basketball now, but I'm sure that this applies to all team sports and hell, probably all industries, period, for the most part. You know, I mean, I haven't been in a ton of other industries other than sports and basketball specifically, but I can only imagine that it applies to industries all across the board. And, you know, it's not about your personal goals when it comes to the team's goals and the team's potential. And this, it reminds me of a funny story. One of my old teammates told me a lot. This is maybe like, I'll say 15 years ago. It was like, you know, my boy Gary Trent, you know, shout out to Gary Trent. I mean, his son's in the NBA right now doing big things. And, you know, Gary Trent was a great guy, is a great guy, not was. Gary Trent is a great guy. And I remember we were on a team bus one time, and we were talking about old coaches, and you know, I can't remember, maybe somebody was bitching about, you know, playing time or something like that. And, you know, that Gary Trent started telling this story about how he was in practice, and, you know, the coach told him to do something. He's like, listen, Gary, I want you to do this, you know. And, you know, G. Trent was like, nah, you know, like, that's not what I do. Like, you know, like I do this thing. And the coach was like, listen, you know, like, you're going to do this. because that's what I want you to do, and that's what the team needs you to do. And Gary Trent said, well, what about my hopes and dreams? And he said, the coach looked at him and said, I don't give a damn about your hopes and dreams. I've always, every time I think about that story, it makes me laugh, and it's hilarious, but it's true. And, it's basically, I just wish, I wish I could go back and be more open to learning and to growing. And, I did, like going to the University of Arizona, I did learn a lot. And, like having the pro career that I had, I did learn a lot. I grew a lot as a player, as a person. But I mean, if I could go back, I would even more so, I'd be open-minded and be open to learning and not be so stubborn. And, like that's what I want for all you young guys and girls out there. Hell, even the old folks, to be honest with you, still need to listen. And, if that was the case, if more older people started to listen, the world would be in a better place now. We got a lot of stubborn old people out there that's trying to keep the world how it was 100 years ago, but we're not even going to talk about that. But, even old people need to listen more and to learn and to be better. That's pretty much all I had to say. I do want to tell one Coach O story that I have is one of my favorite memories about Coach O. And I just remember I came on my recruiting visit to Arizona. Now, mind you, I had just left St. Louis. It was in February. It was like sleet, rain, ice rain, 40 degrees in St. Louis. It's crazy, horrible weather. Landed in Tucson, Arizona. It's like 75 degrees. Like we walking around campus is beautiful women laying on the quad, dressed in like little bitty t-shirts, and it's crazy. It's nice. You just feel the vibe. It's just, you love it. And, I was taking my tour through the McHale Center, which is where we played. And, it's just the halls were lined with all Americans, like just all the guys that went through there. Big time players, big time professional players. And I just remember like when my trip was over, Coach O was taking me to the airport. Now, mind you, I was 99.9% sure that as soon as I touched back down in St. Louis, I was going to commit to Arizona. Like I was in my mind, I was already like, all right, as soon as I'm gonna touch down, I'm gonna go home. I'll probably tell my mom how the trip was, everything, and then just call them immediately or call them that next day and say, hey, yep, I'm coming there for sure. It had to be, I don't know what it was. It had to be some kind of crazy act, from the man up above or the being up above that said, nah, that ain't the place. Because I was pretty much all in at that point. But I wasn't really saying nothing. I got a good poker face. But I remember he was driving me to the airport and, just making small talk like how coaches do. Hey, so how was everything? So what are you thinking? Blah, 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 all that, right? So I wasn't saying much. I was kind of quiet. And I remember, we get to the airport, we get out the car, and, I think, like my bag was in the trunk or whatever. So he hands me my bag and he was like, hey, listen, this is all I wanted to tell you. He said, Loren, you're a great player. And if you come here, we'll have a chance to win a national championship. But even if you don't come here, we still going to have a chance to win a national championship. Like, it was crazy. Like, and I'm talking about, he said it like with a straight face, like looked me like right, like dead through to the center of my soul. Like, right, like what you want to do? This is on you now. Ball's in your court. I was like that, whatever doubt that I had, that 0.1% doubt, it was done. Like I was 100% all in at that moment. Chalk it up, and the next 3 years of my life were some of the best years that I had as far as basketball, as far as learning, growing as a player, developing as a player, just coming into my own. And, I wouldn't have been able to do it without Coach Olson. I wouldn't have been able to do it without the University of Arizona. I owe them my career. So many people that I met there that helped shape and change the kind of player that I was and the kind of person that I was, and I just wanted to share that story. Rest in peace, Coach Olson. I owe so much and I appreciate so much. And I think, basically that story was something that I lived by pretty much throughout the rest of my career, throughout my professional career, the rest of my college and professional career, is that the world is going to keep turning with or without you. Period. So you might as well join the program and be great. Y'all stay fortunate and be blessed.
I don't take days off, do I? When my number is called, I don't take plays off, do I? I'ma always give you 20 and 10, no matter how much you wanna pretend that I ain't clutch with it. I don't do the load management, maybe I can handle it. When the heat is on, I can manage it. I'm kinda like James Harden's career, I can walk whenever I feel. And that's facts. It's like the clock's ticking down on our trust. It's like the clock's ticking down upon us. What we gonna do? But you know that I would never